As I'm looking around here at Tampa City Center, it brings back some really great memories to me. This account, as you're looking at, it's the largest commercial complex in downtown Tampa. It's over 1 million square feet, incredibly intimidating account to go after. It took me about a year to sell this account back years ago when I was building my company. I want to tell a little bit about the story and how this all came to fruition. So the first time that I was able to get into the door at this account, I walked upstairs, I waited by the management office, and obviously it's really intimidating, right? I met the gatekeeper first, and the gatekeeper wouldn't let me through. I called, and I really struggled. Fast forward about 90 days, I finally got my first meeting with the property manager. I walked into the account, I walked her through how we were great, how we're gonna focus on lead certification, how we're gonna help them get their points, and a ton of other stuff, right? And she simply said, Seth, you're either cheaper or you're not. I said, okay, well, I'm gonna put a proposal together. Why don't you just tell me your number and we'll see if we can do it. And she said, absolutely not. My job is to save this company money, this building money, and I'm not gonna show you anything. I said, okay, fair enough. So I put my proposal in front of her. My proposal was around $1,500 a month, right? Now this is 1 million square feet, guys. And she looked me dead in the eye and she said, we're paying $600 a month and all I care about is saving costs. At that very moment, I knew that I failed. I knew that I didn't build enough value in what we did because I knew we were the right company, right? So it took about another year. I walked up to the office, I sat at the door, it was 8 o'clock in the morning, they weren't open yet. She opens the door and sure enough, my decision maker is there. And she didn't even remember who I was, guys. I called so many times, I met with her in person. I did such a poor job that a year later, she didn't even remember me. I left her tons of messages too, right? And at that very moment, I realized that the fact is that I've got to stay in front of these people all the time, which I finally did. But here's how this panned out. I was there at the right time. She said, Seth, I've got a problem going on right now, and I'll have you take a look at it. So we walked up, I want to say it was like the 34th floor, and they had these air conditioner units that ran on the outside of the building, kind of an old school methodology. And they had a fly issue inside of these air conditioning units. Sure enough, I took a look at this thing, and I didn't exactly know how to solve it, but I knew that we could solve it. And so I asked them a very simple question. This is the tenant. I said, how much do you guys love being at this building? And the lady says to me, Seth, we love this building. Our lease is coming up in January, and we're considering moving because of this fly issue. For me, I walked out of there, I went back and met with the property manager, and I said, hey, so let me ask you this. That tenant up there told me they're thinking about moving. And she said specifically to me, Seth, the reason they think they're moving is that we cannot get this fly control situation under control, and it's driving their employees crazy. They paid $35,000 a month for rent. And for those of you guys who know commercial real estate, they tend to sign a 7 to 10 or sometimes even longer lease. This gave me the opportunity to get my price and show an ROI. So how did I do it? I walked up, I met with them again, I built the value, and I asked them a very simple question. If we can solve this problem, does it save this tenant potentially? And you know what she said? I think it does, Seth. So then I said, great. I put my proposal back in front of her, and you know what she said? You're too expensive. You need to be able to match our price. I looked her dead in the eye, and I said, let's put price aside. The fact is that if I can solve this problem, you're gonna save that tenant, and it doesn't really make a difference what I charge you for pest control, does it? And she looked at me, and it clicked. Guys, I had that agreement signed the following week, and we took over 1 million square foot building because I had the patience, I understood how to build the requirement, and I understood how to take a scenario and develop an ROI to help them make a purchasing decision. Then now these companies see their pest control provider as a partner versus just a service provider. So I hope that inspires some of you guys to go after the big accounts. You just walk right in the front door, go make it happen, and keep putting in that effort day in and day out. And can you sell accounts like this, guys? It can change your entire company.